Hey there, this is Susan Tapley. I'm just getting ready to start a quick demo here, but I want to make sure that I have this shared to exactly where I want it to be. Share it to my VIP group. Let's see. Be right with you. All right, here we go. Okay, hello everybody. Today I wanted to come on live to talk to you a little bit about a project I've been wanting to do for a while. I've had this transfer for a couple of weeks, but I just have not had a minute to do anything with the holidays and all. I'm going to turn my camera, so guys don't get dizzy. I'm just going to turn this a little bit so you can see it a little better. I'm watching on my computer too, so I can see exactly what you see. So let's see if I can get this right. Yeah, here we go. It's getting there. Okay. Is that better? All right, I just want to be able to make sure that you can see everything upright, and yeah, that's not very good either, is it? All right, well, we're gonna make it work for today. Anyway, I have this little metal sign that I picked up quite a while ago, and I was thinking that the transfer that I have in mind to do today would be really cute with this this home and wreath transfer that I have. It's actually a B-size transfer, and it is available on my website, which is listed in the description, chalkcouture.com/Susan. So this one here, I'm thinking about putting this out by my door, so I want to make sure that it's nice and bright and easily seen, at least from the driveway. You know, you really should have your house labeled well, so that, you know, if you have to have someone from an emergency department come to see you, it's always good to have your address number in a few places. So anyway, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to get started with Chalk Couture products. I'm trying to figure out how to make this better for you all. Let me see if I can turn it this way and see what happens. Hey Lucille, I see that you are watching. And Shelly, how are you doing? I'm really messing up this demo here today, aren't I? Let's see how that looks. Is that better? There's a little bit of a delay in my screen, so I'll see what's going on. Oh, that's a little bit better. How's that? Okay, so I've kind of parked this transfer. As I was saying, it is going to be 4 pieces when I cut these apart too. These are the components that make up the wreath, and one of the things that I love about this transfer is that it's got these little registration marks in the corners. What that means is that when I'm actually putting the design down, I'm going to chalk those little triangles so that you'll do that the first time you do your first layer, and then you're going to add your second layer, and you're going to line those triangles up to make sure that everything is in the right place. So then the third transfer will also line up nicely. So I'm just going to cut those apart, and I'm going to number them in the order that I believe they go on this design. Some of our transfers have numbers, and that's really helpful, but this one does not. But I think this is going to be the first section right here. So I'm just going to put a home and the number 1 on it. I always make sure that I write which transfer that I'm using on the back, because sometimes I mix and match the transfers together. And you want to be sure that they all go back in the home with in their envelopes that they came in, so that you can find them next time. So there's home 1. I have a feeling these other little branches go next, so I'm going to call that one 2. So I'm going to write home and 2, and this one will be home and 3. Okay, I have used this transfer already, and I made something for a friend of mine who's also my groomer, and I put a little dog paw in here instead of the O. And of course in this instance, we are replacing the O with a cute little wreath. So I'm excited to see how this one comes out. So I have already written on the back of that one. So that one I think I'm going to put right about here. And as I was saying, I want to put my address underneath that. So I have the numbers 26 that I'm going to put on the lower part of the board. So far so good? So I'm just going to write the number 2 on this one and the number 6 on this one. Okay, you ready to get started? So what I'm going to do is remove the transfer from the backing, and this one's going to come off pretty easily because, like I said, I've used it before. I'm just going to put that aside, and place the transfer on my surface. Make sure I don't have any dust on there. All right, so this one's pretty easy to line up. I just want to make sure that I'm evenly spaced across the edges. That looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to smooth that over with my hands. And one of the other things I like to do is to use an angled squeegee also to make sure that you have all of the air bubbles out of your transfer. You don't want to have any of those in the screen area, especially because that'll make like a little bleed or a bubble in your artwork. And you can always fix those things, but it's always easier if you start right from the beginning, having it the way that it should be. So I'm going to grab some of my squeegees here. And I'm going to start by doing the letters in white. Guys, if you like what you're seeing, be sure to share my video. If you're using a mobile device, there's a tab right on the lower left-hand side. I'm going to grab a little bit of my white chalk paste. I have stirred these up already before we got started. I just wanted to remind you to please really stir them up well. If they're thick, add a little bit of water and just keep stirring until it's about the consistency of a Greek yogurt. If you have added a little bit too much water, let it sit out for a few minutes and stir it occasionally, and it should come right back to life. Hello, Renee. How are you today? Look, I'm making a mess already. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spread that white paste over the letter, and you can see that I'm not trying to stay in the lines or be fussy at all. I always tell people that using our chalk paste is like buttering toast. You just spread it on until all of the gray or opened areas are covered. Just like that. So far, so good? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over the design and squeegee off all of the excess. After you've done this for a while, you kind of get a feel for how much paste you actually need. But when you're learning, I always recommend you use a little bit more paste than you think you're going to use. So you can see there's really not very much in the design itself. And anything that is extra goes right back into the jar, just like that. So I'm going to put the cover on that and get ready to remove the transfer. As tempting as it can be to pull from the corner, we do recommend that you start in the center and pull from side to side, just like this. Very nice. I really like this transfer. So you can see that this is covered with chalk paste, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a little water bath over to the side here, and when I'm all through with my design, I'll just wash that off with warm water. Do not ever use a soap on your transfers because it will affect the life of it. It is really sticky on the back, and you want to try to maintain that, right? So I'm going to pop that in the water. And the next thing I'm going to do is, let me see how big my letters are. I can absolutely do those without having to dry them. So these are brand new numbers that I haven't used before. And generally what I recommend that you do is to take them off of their carrier sheet. And we do something called fuzzing. I'm just going to step back here and grab a towel. What fuzzing does, I usually will do this on my shirt or my pants or anything else. Hey, Jessica Douglas, how are you, girl? Is you would attach it to a surface like your jeans or your t-shirt or a towel and just fuzz them up a little bit. You're just grabbing a little bit of lint from that surface, which makes it a lot easier to remove them from your surface. So I'm going to put my little 2 down here. I'm just going to put that down lightly so I can see how my spacing goes. And I also have my number 6. So my address is 26, so this will be perfect. If you have a big, long number to your address, you'd probably want to use some smaller letters. So I'm going to fuzz up the number 6. Hey, Jess, what's going on? So here's my 6, and I think I'm going to put that one a bit closer to the 2, so it's not too far apart, but I want to be able to get them both in there pretty evenly. I think that looks pretty good, huh? I'm happy with that. So again, I'm going to rub those down so there are no air bubbles or bumps, and take my beautiful squeegee. And you know, sometimes when you have an air bubble underneath your transfer, you can actually hear them like snap, crackle, and pop like Rice Krispies. So it looks like it's pretty good. So I'm going to go back to my white. You chalking too? Good. Anybody else out there chalking? Renee, I just sent you out a big shipment of some transfers, so I know you're going to be busy. So here we go. I'm just going to, again, spread the chalk paste over the numbers. So far, so good. Go back over that and squeegee off all of the excess. Don't forget, you guys, if you like what you're seeing, be sure to hit that share button. Love to have some more people join our group. Ooh, I'm getting chalk dust all over everything. And again, I'm going to remove those transfers. They might all come off in one piece. No, not quite. So those are going right into the water bath for later. Hi, Krista. Welcome, welcome. So there is my 26. I'm really liking this so far. So what I'm going to do to just make this go a little bit quicker is I'm going to use a heat tool. This is used for lots of different crafts, for embossing and just drying things in general. You can also use a hair dryer. This does get very hot, so you don't want to concentrate it too hard, too long in any specific area. Keep it moving. I've actually bubbled paste because I wasn't paying attention before. Oh my goodness. So here we go. Hey Carlene, how are you? I need to talk with you later today. Give me a call later. I'm just going to give this a quick dry, especially this area right here, because the smaller transfers might overlap it a little bit. So make sure those are nice and dry so they don't pull up. Anybody else chalking today? I know Jessica is. I'm going to get ready to go to California next week, and I'm going to our leadership convention where there's going to be a whole new catalog released, and I can tell you that I am super, super excited about seeing those. All right, that should be pretty good. Oh yeah, very nice. Okay, so next we're going to start with our number 1. I remember I told you I numbered this one, so I believe that this number is number 1. Jessica, let me know if otherwise. But I think that this layer goes first, followed by this layer, the leaves, and then the berries on top. So here's another tip for you. If you have a transfer that you've never used before, sometimes it's kind of hard to get it off of the carrier sheet. I take my thumb and I just roll it along the edge and it peels right off. So again, I'm going to get this all fuzzed up on my towel. Just once or twice is usually pretty good. And we're going to place that right here between the H and the M. It's nice because you can kind of see through it a little bit. So you can tell if you're, getting them evenly spaced. Yikes. It's sticking really good there. Peel that up a little bit and start over. Okay. Sorry about my head there. I think I'm going to move it over just a smidge more. It looks a little bit tighter to the H than the M. Okay, I'm happy. Okay, so remember about those little registration marks. I'm also going to chalk those, and I'm making sure there are no bumps or bubbles or folds in those greens. What I'm using right here is called Green Envy. I'd like this to be a little bit on the bright side. And I'm going to be using some squeegees that I've cut into smaller pieces just for projects just like this. So I'm going to grab a little bit of that Green Envy and start spreading it over the design. Again, especially if you're new at this or if you work slowly, put the paste on a little bit thicker. After you've done it for a while, you'll get to know how it feels and how fast you need to go and how thick you need to make your paste on your design. So don't forget that you have these little registration marks here. Just going to chalk those up too, and then remove my excess on the squeegee, kind of like in a snow plowing motion. Not too many snow plows here in Massachusetts. We have no snow to speak of, and I'm okay with that. All right, let's see if I'm getting off screen here. Yeah. All right, let's peel that one off, and let's see how it looks. I'm gonna have to shimmy this one. It's holding on tight. Cute. Okay, that goes in the bathtub. And I'm going to dry that up for a minute. So those little registration marks will wash right off when I'm done. I'll just hit them with a little Q-tip of water and they will disappear. This shouldn't take very long. It's a pretty fine design, so it dries really quickly with a heater. Okay. Alright. Here we go with layer number 2. So this one I'm going to do with a lighter green. I always tend to put light colors on dark surfaces and dark colors on the light surfaces. Did I say that right? Okay. So let's see. We're going to line up those registration marks. You can see the triangles there to make sure I can see through it. Oh yeah, there they are. Look at that. And that should line it up perfectly. If you've ever tried to line something up on one of our transfers that didn't have those registration marks on it, you'll know that it's a little tricky. Okay, so now I'm going to take another jar of paste. This is actually called mint green. It's not a color that we have any longer, but if you'd like to make a color like this, you can take the Green Envy like we used before, add some white, and just keep adding it till it's the right color that you're looking for to get that light green. Also, this was stirred up beforehand, so it's all ready to roll. Just going to cover those open areas. You don't need to cover the whole transfer, just the areas that are open. And we are done. That was quick, huh? All right, here we go again. Being careful not to pull the corners. You don't want to stretch your transfers out. Ooh, I like this. All right. So I'll give that one a couple seconds to dry. I have a couple of designers on this group here. Have any of you guys ever done this design yet? Jessica, you probably have because you do a lot of them. Okay, so we only have one layer left. And I was a little nervous that this was going to look like a Christmas design. But you know what? It's always green every season, right? And I decided that I would add some berries in the last layer that are this color here. Super pretty. Oops, it's open. And this is called Currant Jam. It's kind of a rosy pink cranberry color. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So again, we're going to peel that off, roll it with your thumb. It should pull right off. And I'm going to fuzz this one. All right, last layer. Here we go. I'm just going to line up those triangles again. Oh my gosh, that is a lifesaver having those there, I'll tell you. There's one side and there is the other. That's so easy. Okay, I'm just going to give those a light little rub down and get a squeegee, and we are going to finish this up. There we go. Excited to pull this off because I am. All right, here we go. Last layer. Da, 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 da. Oh my goodness. I love it. It's super pretty. I gotta say. I really like it. All right, so the only other thing I have left to do is to clean off those registration marks. And I'm just gonna wet a paper towel here off to the side, just a little bit. And those will come right off. So I'm almost done with this project, and I think what I probably will do is put a different ribbon on this and hang it right by my door. There, that came right off. What do you think? Da-da-da-da. I'm really happy with the way it came out. Anyway, if you're interested in purchasing this transfer or some chalk paste, please go to chalkcouture.com/Susan If you are interested in my VIP group, that's where most of my customers come to hear about my events and projects, and I have special deals there sometimes. Please comment VIP and I will make sure that I invite you into that group. If you are interested in becoming a designer and doing what I do, teaching others how to create in a simple, beautiful way, please let me know, and I promise you I will get right back to you. January is the start of a new year and a great time to become a Chalk Couture designer. So I'd love to have you and answer your questions about that. Thank you very much for watching. Again, share this video with everyone you know, and we will see you again really soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.